condition I had was I was just absolutely obsessed with truth, just obsessed with truth, and so the obsession with truth is why I studied physics, because physics attempts to understand the truth of the universe. Physics is just what are the provable truths of the universe, and truths that have predictive power. So for me, physics was sort of a very natural thing to study. Nobody made me study it. It was intrinsically interesting to understand the nature of the universe. And then computer science or information theory, also to just understand logic and there's an argument that that information theory is actually operating at a more fundamental level than even physics. Physics and information theory were really interesting to me.
So when you say truth, I mean it's not like some people. So what you're talking about is the truth of the universe, like the fundamental truths that drive the universe. It's like a deep curiosity about what this universe is, why we're here, simulation. Why not? We don't have time to go into that. But I mean, you're just deeply curious about what this is for, what this is, this whole thing.
Yes, I mean, I think the why of things is very important. I actually, when I was, sort of young teens, I got quite depressed about the meaning of life, and I was trying to sort of understand the meaning of life, reading religious texts, and reading books on philosophy. I got into the German philosophers, which is definitely not wise if you're a young teenager, I have to say. Be a bit dark. Much better read as an adult. And then actually I ended up reading The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is actually a book on philosophy, just sort of disguised as a silly humor book. But actually, it's actually a philosophy book. And Adams makes the point that it's actually the question that is harder than the answer. He sort of makes a joke that the answer is 42. That number does pop up a lot. And 420 is just 10 times 42.
10 times more significant than 42. Okay.
There's you can make a triangle with 42 degrees and two 69s. So there's no such thing as a perfect triangle, or is there?
But even more important than the answer is the questions. That was the whole theme of that book. I mean, is that yes, basically how you see meaning then? That it's the pursuit of questions.
Yeah. So I have a sort of a proposal for a worldview or a motivating philosophy, which is to understand what questions to ask about the answer that is the universe. And to the degree that we expand the scope and scale of consciousness, biological and digital, we will be better able to ask these questions, to frame these questions, and to understand why we're here, how we got here, what the heck is going on. And so that is my driving philosophy, is to expand the scope and scale of consciousness that we may better understand the nature of the universe.
Elon, one of the things that was most touching last week was seeing you hang out with your kids. Here's, if I may...
It looks vaguely like a ventriloquist dummy there. I mean, how do you know that's real?
So that's X, and it was just a delight seeing you hang out with him. And
sure.
What's his future going to be? I mean, I don't mean him personally, but the world he's going to grow up in. What future do you believe he will grow up in?
Well, I mean, a very digital future. A different world than I grew up in, that's for sure. But I think we want to obviously do our absolute best to ensure that the future is good for everyone's children, and that that the future is something that you can look forward to and not feel sad about. You want to get up in the morning and be excited about the future, and we should fight for the things that make us excited about the future. The future cannot just be about one miserable thing after another, solving one sad problem after another. There got to be things that get you excited, like you want to live. These things are very important. They should have more of it.
And it's not as if it's a done deal. Like it's all to play for. Like the future may be horrible. Still, there are scenarios where it is horrible, but you see a pathway to an exciting future, both on Earth and on Mars and in our minds through artificial intelligence and so forth. I mean, in your heart of hearts, do you really believe that you are helping deliver that exciting future for X and for others?
We're trying our hardest to do so. I love humanity, and I think that we should fight for a good future for humanity, and I think we should be optimistic about the future and fight to make that optimistic future happen.
Elon, I think that's a perfect place to close this. Thank you so much for spending time coming here.